There was some mammy bedwench trying to argue with me on Twitter because we were clowning Lori Lightfoot. There was an old picture of her looking like Kid from Kid and Play, and people were clowning her picture because Lori Lightfoot is an enemy of black society. So some mammy with a foreign flag, look at how y'all black men be talking about black women. Y'all disrespect black women. I said, woman, you are not even a part of our culture fully. Don't you speak on us. No, my grandma is a descendant of slaves. My daddy Nigerian. So I'm a foundational black American too. No, you're not. You're one of these anchored niggas. We went in on her ass. You one of these anchored niggas. Your dad was probably a coon. They send these coons over here to anchor themselves and work against us and have their offspring work against us. Their offspring try to latch onto our heritage while hold on to another heritage that is anti-foundational. Yeah? And the fact that you're caping for a Lori Lightfoot shows that you are an anti-foundational black American. You're caping for somebody who's working against black society. You dig? We got to watch that shit. Watch out for these anchor baby niggas. I got heat for you anchor babies. No, my grandma, my dad from Ghana, but my grandma from Mississippi. So I'm a foundational black American too, but you're not you can't represent black Americans because you have dual allegiance. So you are not a good representative of black America. So I don't even want your opinion. I don't want nobody's opinion that's negative about foundational black Americans. If you are an anchor baby from another place that you're not criticizing, you're not talking about Boko Haram and all the damn female genital circumcision that's going on in your daddy's country. So don't come over here saying shit. Because y'all always got all the smoke for us, but never about your dad's side. See, that's another trick that people have run on us. What they do, they come to black society, black Americans, and dump garbage on us, but keep the image of their other side very clean. They keep that image squeaky clean so they can jump in between cultures. So you bring all the good and portray all the good from that side, but get over to us and everything is all garbage and filth, and you're throwing bullshit criticisms at us, being a tether. You did, because these people would like to see us wiped out so they can take over. So they can step in our places like the movie Us. They would love to see us destroyed. That's why they like the Lori Lightfoots and all these people who shit on black society and disenfranchise us so they can start getting some of them immigrant packages. See, they play both sides of the fence. While we're getting shitted on and they got some little immigrant stimulus package going, they're up here with the Latinos talking about, hey, we black and brown. That's who the black and brown is right there, some of them immigrants and Latinos. Because they like, if I connect with this Latino, I can get some of the crumbs off those immigrant benefits because I'm part immigrant too. See, we got to watch that game these niggas play. Yeah? We got to watch that game. And another thing, I've been seeing a lot of these foreign flag mammies and bedwenches on some K-pop shit. They were caping for the K-pop. These Korean boys, some shit. I don't know what this K-pop is, some Korean dudes or whatever. And a lot of these foreign flag mammies and bedwenches are caping for these cats. So while over in Asia, African people are getting their asses kicked in, you got these mammies from the Caribbean and Africa over here kissing these Asians' asses. They can't wait to have they'll replace a white daddy for an Asian zaddy. They can't wait to get them another non-black zaddy somewhere. You dig? They can't wait. Yeah? So we got to watch that. Some of these men, these other places got a lot of coons and tethers that they're sending over here. We got to be very careful. We got to watch out for them. There was one chick from somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't know where she was from, but she made a tweet that was so damn stupid. She was talking about, and she deleted that shit. She was like, yeah, black Americans and Caribbeans are different. Caribbeans, we're taught about manners and respect, how to respect people and show manners to people at a young age. Black Americans, not so much. And then there was a bunch of other little immigrant coons co-signing it, talking about how disrespectful Black Americans are as opposed to Caribbeans. And we kind of reminded them, I'm like, wait a minute. Have y'all been in a Caribbean restaurant lately? Respect and manners. Nigga, y'all act like we haven't been in a Caribbean restaurant before. That's the epitome of bad manners and lack of respect. What are you talking about? Manners and respect? Nigga, you go into a Jamaican restaurant and get cursed out just for ordering too slow. Every time we about to go in on a white supremacist, there's a mammy or a coon right there. Lord Jesus, with your mouth wide open crying, Lord, he's still a human being. You understand? The eyes get the bucking. But like I said, getting back to the Haitian Revolution, we're talking about the Haitian Revolution. This is why y'all got to study the movie 1804. So Mackendall, he started it off by killing the white supremacists with poison. He started to poison their asses. And when Bookman, some years later, about 10 years later, I believe, when Bookman and others had that Boakeman ceremony, had that voodoo ceremony, they started calling up some of those African deities. They started calling up this brother, Ogun, the god of war, the god of iron, the god of vengeance. You see here, this is a god with a sword. They start calling up Ogun. You know, they made it a spiritual thing. That's why the white supremacists like to get you with religion first. The first thing they hit niggas with is religion. They go in there, they send the missionaries in to get white supremacy in your heart. This is how they get, this is why so many African mammies and Caribbean mammies are fucked up now. Because what do? Over there now, let's be real, in parts of Africa and the Caribbean, when the white supremacists, when they economically create deprivation, you got a lot of black folks here, they don't know. All they see is other black people. When they see other black people, blackness, poverty. When a white person shows up, usually a missionary, what do they see? A white person, angelic looking, with tangible gifts. The white person has food. The white person has medicine. The white person has built a little water well for him. The white person then gave him some shoes. So anytime a white person pops up, the white person is grinning. Even though in the white person's mind, the white person, they're grinning and bringing a pair of shoes, but they just dropped off some goddamn Ebola in the river. But they haven't figured that out. But they just brought you a fresh pair of J's. They done brought you a weave. White daddy done showed up. White mommy done showed up bringing some gifts. So now you think whiteness is goodness. Everything white, good things come out of it. And then they say, hey, look, you want this sandwich, little Nduge? I got a delicious, I know you haven't eaten, I know you've been eating, I know there's been a drought because we've built a corporation down the street and fucked the water up, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I know you haven't eaten, but I have some, I have something called a Popeye's chicken sandwich. I'm going to give you the Popeye's chicken sandwich. It's so delicious. And by the way, before I give you the sandwich, have you accepted Jesus in your heart? Who is Jesus? Who is Jesus? Oh, Jesus is great. Jesus is the God of all things. Jesus brought you this Popeye's chicken sandwich. He really did? He brought the chicken sandwich? Yes, taste it, taste it. And he takes a bite of that damn Popeye's chicken sandwich. Ooh, this is delicious. That's Jesus. Jesus brought you that. Jesus brought the sandwich? I can't believe it. Tell me more about Jesus. So that Popeye's chicken sandwich hit his ass. That hunger is being fed, and she's talking about Jesus. So now, when she leaves, that nigga's like, where's Jesus? I need you. Dear God, please, Jesus, come back with a sandwich. This sandwich is so good. So now this nigga's praying for that sandwich. He's sandwiching Jesus. So now there's an equation. He done got fed, and it was some white man who did it. Some mythological white man who did it, who got him that delicious sandwich. So now he's starving for the next few weeks, dreaming about that fucking Popeye sandwich. You know, he ain't got no rice. He's, you know, eating old rice from China. Eating, oh shit, I got the protein. It's a sandwich. I got the protein. So he's thinking about that goddamn Popeye sandwich, eating that fucked up rice. Shit. Oh, when is Jesus coming? Where is Jesus coming? Oh, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Where's Jesus? Then the white person show back up. Then he starts bucking. Them eyes get to bucking when he see the white person come with some more Jesus paraphernalia and 2 sandwiches. Ooh, my prayers have been answered. Jesus is back with 2 sandwiches. I love Jesus so much. Tell me more about Jesus. So now this nigga is a full-fledged Christian who believes in white Jesus. Ain't nothing wrong with Christianity if you believe the Africanness of it. But now, Jesus, white, goodness, God, all becomes one and the same. You know? Now you eating good, they telling you Jesus brought it, and they're making you recite this shit. They're converting you. Now, before I give you the sandwich, let's pray. Thou, Father, which art in heaven. Now, we got to understand forgiveness. Forgiveness. Do I get the sandwich? No. We got to read some more. So we're going to read a little bit more here. Let's bring your children in so we can read. And you eating that sandwich, and your kids get that sandwich. Their little eyes get the bucking. Ooh, Papa, who is the white woman? She's telling about Jesus. Oh, so everybody's eyes are bucking now. Everybody's fucking eyes are bucking now. They're converting people, putting white God in their minds, associating that with goodness. So now you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to mess that up. So now they are here giving you these Popeye's chicken sandwiches, telling you to forgive and pray, and we're all in this together, and Jesus forgives, while they're poisoning your community. And they're like, well, I heard there's some little rocks over here that I'm gonna bring in some guys from a corporation called De Beers. Don't worry about them. But we're gonna bring more chicken sandwiches. We're gonna move your village over a little bit. We're going to move your village over. What we're going to do, we're going to build a water well. Ooh, we can wash down the chicken. Yes, you can wash down that delicious chicken with this water well we're about to build. You see how great we are? Now, we're going to get $1 trillion worth of diamonds sitting under your black ass that you don't know how to get your damn self. You're sitting under $1 trillion, but don't worry about that. Those chicken sandwiches, that's going to be the lick for you, Unduge. Oh, you're so good people. Not like those Akadas. Oh, yeah. If any black Americans come around here, listen, those are niggers, okay? Those niggers are hard. You know, over there in America, you know what they do? They're Crips and Bloods. They do drive-by shootings. They have a bunch of children out of the way. They're a bunch of baby mamas. They're hood rats. Oh, I hate those niggas. You know, so now they coon vetting these niggas, turning them into coons. You dig? So they coon vetting them, turning them out. So if they do happen to come over here, well, they've already been poisoned against us. But again, this is why 2 white people can go over there and start running shit, smacking folks around, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing because they've been taught generation after generation, this is the person who brings those delicious chicken sandwiches. So I can't fight Karen. I can't fight Bob, the missionary. Those chicken sandwiches are delicious. You understand? They bring those Jesus sandwiches over there and brainwash niggas because they create a system of deprivation and then come with the solution. So let's bring back the Haitian Revolution. What they said, they said, first of all, spiritually, get that white God out of our damn system. Forget about the damn chicken sandwiches. All right? The chicken sandwiches ain't working. They're abusing us over here. That white God ain't it. The white man is horrible. God knows. They wised up and said, what God is going to let these people do this shit to us? What kind of fucking God is that? We're worshiping the wrong God. They woke up and said, hey, Bookman said, hey, niggas, we worshiping the wrong fucking gods out here. What God wants us to sit up and get abused and raped and our kids sold? And these French are doing horrible shit to us. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody sending stuff on the Cash App. A lot of folks are sending Cash Apps tonight. Much respect to y'all. So my man said, we're going to tap back into the real gods that's going to work for us. Remember, they still understood some of their African heritage. They understood some of those African religions, and they brought that in with voodoo. They said, this is going to work for us. Let's conjure up those gods of revenge. Let's do blood sacrifices with these animals. They made it real. Let's get these bebes popping out here. Let's get these memes and bebes popping. Let's call on Ogun, Papa Legba. Let's get this shit popping. And they start turning up. And then everybody got on code. Enough people got on code. See, that's the thing. Enough folks got on code. And the Haitians said, look, part of the voodoo was basically you don't fear death. You understand death is just a transition. The body is just a vessel. Your spirit lives on forever. This is one thing that they instilled. This is why they got rid of their fear of dying, which was very important. The Haitians understood, okay, we're going to live forever. So we don't have to let our bodies and spirit, because we're letting our spirit be abused as well as our bodies. So even if we die physically, we don't really die. They understood that. They realized that. So that's why the fear of death was gone. When they got rid of the fear of death, it was a wrap. That was the key right there. The voodoo with Ogun, that helped them get rid of the fear of death. And the people fighting the Haitians, they kept commenting on how fearless these niggas were. You understand? They kept commenting on how fearless they were. Study 1804. We talked about this. We talked about how the Haitians, when they were fighting, even when some of them were getting killed, they said, if we get killed, you better know how to die. If these people are killing you, learn how to die. You die with dignity. You learn how to die with bravery. Don't be sitting here crying and groveling. You die like a G. We talked about that in 1804. See, black folks, we got this thing. Every time the race soldiers come around and these white supremacists are coming at us, threatening us, niggas get to groveling. Oh, Lord, I didn't do nothing. Lord, why are you doing this? I didn't do nothing. Stop all that fucking crying. Stop all that crying. That's one thing. When we stop doing that, we'll start getting on the right path. See, crying and all that shit, we're begging for sympathy. These people ain't got no sympathy. Stop all that crying shit. We got to stop all that groveling and crying. Oh, look what you did to my family. Nah. They got rid of that shit. They're like, we ain't doing all that groveling. We going to die with our head up. If we die, we're going to die with our head up because we're going to fight with our heads up. That was the mantra. Learn how to die. You think? And they understood revenge. Key things. They understood they got their spirit together. They understood vengeance, an eye for a fucking eye. You understand? They understood getting rid of the fear. Those three things, that's in here. This is why they defeated not just France. What y'all got to understand, they defeated 3 militaries. France, Britain, and Spain. They defeated 3 militaries. And these were people, remember, these were people who were slaves, who didn't initially have any weapons. These were people who did not have no weapons. These were unarmed, unresourced people with rags on, with no weapons. And they beat 3 armies, guys. They defeated 3 goddamn armies. You understand? And they did it because of them getting rid of the fear of dying. They're like, we're going to go all the way out. And they had everybody on code. They would die with pride. You had people going on suicide missions. You had children fighting and going on suicide missions. We talked about this in 1804. When they brought in cannons, you would have a Haitian kid would go jump in a cannon, and the kid would sacrifice his life. The kid would get killed because it would stop the cannonball. The cannonball would kill the child, and he knew he was going to die. But this kid was on code, and he knew, I could fit in that cannon. I'm doing this for my culture. They did kamikaze missions. They went in, stopped those cannons, and then the Haitian adults would come in slicing and dicing. You dig? But why was the Haitian Revolution so successful? What did they do? Number one, they decided that death would be better than living a life of indefinite torture. They decided that it's better to risk your lives than to live in infinite torture. And then what they did, they said, okay, we need to get rid of the white God, meaning Jesus. The white God that we've been worshiping, these French people have taught us to worship a white God. These French people have taught us to worship a white God. So what they started to do, they started to slowly get an agenda. You understand? See, they like black folks being together bullshitting. They like black folks being together playing and partying and singing and dancing. But what they would do, they got together and they got an agenda. They said, look, reject that white God. This white God ain't working for us no more. This is Bookman. They got Bookman out of Jamaica and brought him over to Haiti. If you want to stop tyranny, act like white Americans. That's how you stop tyranny, folks. You have to conduct yourself and act like they act. I commend them. That's one thing I can give a lot of white Americans. I commend them for not allowing themselves to be abused. Be more like them as far as that's concerned. You understand? I saw this Facebook post by a suspected white supremacist. He used a lot of coded language here. I want y'all to see this. He said, all right, guys, we need to come up with a plan. Just in case, I need to know who's in my group. In a case of a zombie apocalypse or a tyrannical government takeover, whose house are we meeting at? Who's bringing guns? Who's on snack duty, rations? Who's driving? Where are we going? We leaving or bunkering down. We got to vote for a leader or council. We can do training on the weekends, get our plan together. Run some drills. It's time to get organized. If Facebook deletes this, y'all know what's up. I respect this. Even though it's coded racism, I respect it. That's coded racism. Zombie is black folks. They've always used black people and zombies synonymously. Zombie has always been a code word for black people. That's coded language. Zombie apocalypse. That means just in case these black folks rise up. I was talking to people the other day. Go watch the movie 1804. Okay? Watch my film 1804. We talked about zombies, the concept of zombies, that came from the Haitian Revolution, family. Do y'all understand that? How many of you have not seen 1804? The concept that these white supremacists use about zombies came from the Haitian Revolution. It came from the Haitian Revolution and voodoo. In the early movies in America, when they would do zombie movies, almost every movie, the zombies were Haitian. When they would do all the early zombie movies in Hollywood, the zombies would be Haitian. Then they would make some of them African, but they were always black. The zombies were, and zombie comes from Zambi, which is an African word, but they would always make the zombies Haitian. And in these zombie movies back in the early 1930s, and go look them up, and go watch 1804, really go watch that movie. The zombies would always come up because some white person went over there and struck up some voodoo somewhere. It would be voodoo, then the niggas rose up and start killing white people. That's what the early zombie movies were. It was all about voodoo, Negroes turning into zombies and killing white people. That was the Haitian Revolution, family. And look at all the early zombie movies. When they talk about voodoo and zombies, they would always have some of the voodoo deities like Papa Legba. They still have the Papa Legba image, all that stuff. Baron Sabeti. As a matter of fact, the Joker character from Batman is based on the Baron Sabeti, the same purple outfit with the face paint. Look up all this stuff. So, shout out to Ogun. This is Ogun. This is the Ogun. Speaking of, those voodoo deities. This is Ogun, one of the most feared. You dig? That's why Marvel Comics, they study this shit, by the way. They study this shit. But the fact that the Haitians study that, why was that revolution so successful? See, the movie 1804 is a great study in military science. It's not only a great historical piece, it's a great movie about military science. Okay?